And their coalition with capital is like it's a very one for one trade.
Yeah.
Capital gets protection and fascists get legitimacy.
Let's talk more about that. What as they exercise power and once they were in power, we it's tempting to paint fascism as an anti-capitalist movement or ideology, right? Where you mobilize the working class against the because at its root intellectually they did hate capitalists and they hated the individualistic nature of capitalism and the fact that like it was associated with industrialization and modernity. But what was their actual relationship to capitalists once they were in power? That's something I want to break down.
Destruction of labor unions, probably first.
Hmm.
That's more their relationship with the working class than capital, but it's adjacent.
I think the word reconciliation kind of what springs to mind for me. Like, yeah, we just got to make sure we harmonize. We try to harmonize these class relations as best we can, right? And get people back to work, and they had a lot of early. Mussolini had these early fantasies of, well, we're going to have unions, or we're going to, you know what I mean, or we're going to empower workers. But again, it all goes away,
Yeah. So they did. You're saying they did not. Let's just make this clear. They did not chase the. They did not make the capitalists submit to the might of the state, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, and Paxton's quoting somebody else, but they describe the because a fascist government itself is a coalition.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so this quote that I'm about to say came from somebody else, not Paxton, but they described that fascist conservative coalition as a cartel of party, industry, army, and bureaucracy held together by profit, power, prestige, and fear.
And they delivered the capitalists profit for sure, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
Especially the armaments people.
yeah, that's it was a major boon for industry, and makes sense because like the ultimate where this ends up going is war, and war is profitable. And before we move on, and I remember this, clearly. He talks about how the relationship between capitalists and fascists was sort of one of mutual tolerance, mutual accommodation. They weren't like they weren't buddy buddy necessarily, but they sort of saw the mutual advantage in working together and tolerating one another.
They had overlapping goals for sure.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, so the fascists provided the conservatives with thugs to destroy the socialists, and the fascists got legitimacy, and they also got the alliance of crucial parts of the business community and just the infrastructure, the already existing state apparatus. Yeah.
Okay, and while we're here, right? Let's talk. Let's name some names. What do you guys remember? Okay, I have one off the top of my head. He talks about how Hitler would drive around in a Mercedes Benz that was donated to him by that company.
Yeah, Volkswagen, right? Yeah. The People's Wagon, yeah. Hugo Boss, right?
Yep.
Designed the uniforms.
You got your Hugo Boss uniform. You got your Mercedes Benz car. Yeah. Let's name who's responsible for making the gas that was used in the gas chambers. Right? Do you guys remember?
Oh shit.
Was it ThyssenKrupp or were they like the prisons?
Are you talking about like the Zyklon B?
Might have been, yeah. Anyway, okay.